Hello and welcome again. The IB Chemistry exam for May 2023. It's scheduled to happen on Thursday the 11th of May and then on Friday the 12th of May. This year we're going to have some differences in the way the exam's been conducted when compared to 2020, 2021 and 2022. As the lovely people at the IBO have indicated, it is their intention to return to the structure of the exam that was last given in November 2019 with 3 papers, and if possible, to set the grade boundaries in line with what they were in 2019. But no need to get very concerned. The boundaries are not set out of somebody's imagination. The boundaries are set based on students' performance in the examination. So it's related to the performance of the particular group or cohort of students, and of course it's related to the difficulty of the examination. Once the exam is complete, then a special meeting is held to look at the scores made by students and to decide where the boundaries will be. It's impossible for me to say at this stage where the boundaries will be, but generally in chemistry, the boundary for a 4 is going to go somewhere between 39 to 40%, which is where it's been over the last couple of exam sessions, or going back to November 2019, when it was around 43 to 44, the boundary that is to score a 4. It varies by time zone, it varies by exam session. In time zone 2, May 2019, the boundary in chemistry was unusually high for a 4, with 48. So if I had to make an educated guess as to where the boundary might be this year, I think it would be somewhere in the low 40s, maybe 42, 43, the boundary for a 4. But then we must bear in mind that there are 3 time zones this time around. Whether that's going to mean 3 different exams or 2 exams, I suspect it's going to be 2 different exams, because 2 of the time zones actually are going to run concurrently. And I'm going to explain what all of that means. It's important for you, the student, to know what time zone you're in and to check with your IB coordinator or to check with your teacher. But I'm going to attempt on this video to explain to you, in whatever part of the world you are, whether you're in Hong Kong, whether you're in London, whether you're in Los Angeles, to explain to you what time zone you're in and when you'll have the exams. So the chemistry exam is made up of 3 papers. Paper 1 is the multiple choice. Paper 3 is where you get some work on practicals and you get to select from one of your 4 options, A, B, C, and D. Paper 2 is where you get several questions, short answer questions, problems, calculations, graphs, covering the entire of the core syllabus. The core syllabus goes from topic 1 to 11 for SL and 1 to 21 for HL. Later in this video, I'm going to have some specific tips about some study topics for both HL and SL. But first, let's attend to what papers you have, what day you have them, and what time you have them. Let's begin with paper 1 and paper 3, happening on Thursday the 11th of May in the afternoon session if you are in time zones A and C. So if you're in New York, if you're in Kingston, if you're in Bridgetown, Barbados, if you're in California, you will be in time zone C. If you're in Bangalore, if you're in Delhi, if you're in Shanghai, if you're in Hong Kong, you will be in time zone A. So all of India in time zone A, all of the Americas in time zone C, all of China, all of Indonesia, all of Australia and New Zealand, you will be in time zone A. All of the Caribbean, you will be in time zone C. These 2 exams will both run in the afternoon session. But if you happen to be in London or in Dubai or in Johannesburg, your exam is going to run in the morning session, which will make it run simultaneously with some of the people in time zone A. And in that sense, it's likely that you will have the same paper. So IB is likely to be setting 2 papers for 3 time zones. None of that really impacts you, apart from the fact that you must know when your exam is. And if you happen to be looking up online for a document, that document is going to be highlighted A, B, and C. And it's important, especially if you're in time zone B, that you know your exam is in the morning session. But if you're in A and C, your exam is going to be in the afternoon. Now, when you turn up for your exam on the first day, which is the 11th of May, you are going to have paper 1 to start with. Paper 1 is the multiple choice paper. And if you are an SL student, you will be doing 30 multiple choice questions on topic 1 to 11, and you'll have 45 minutes to do that. You're going to be filling in your answers with pencil on a specific answer sheet. HL students, you will have 40 multiple choice questions. You'll have 60 minutes to do this, and you too will be filling in your answers on a special sheet with a pencil. Once that paper is complete, you're likely to be kept in the exam hall and then given paper 3, not paper 2. This is now a departure from what it's been in the past. You are going to have paper 3 for the first time following paper 1. Paper 3 is a completely different structure. It's based on the option that you've been studying. Your teacher might have selected, or you might have had independent study to study one of 4 options, A, B, C, and D. That is the second half of paper 3. The first half of paper 3 is going to be based on some data and on some practical activity. You have to look at the data, do some calculations, answer some questions about lab equipment and practical procedures. That's the first half of paper 3, and then the second half of paper 3 is based on your option. Your option is an opportunity really to enhance your grade, because what you are confident about is that all of the questions, if it's 30 marks for HL out of the 45, that will be based solely on that section of the course, which is the equivalent of a fairly large unit exam. It makes it much easier to prepare for. And well in advance of the exam, it's important that you get 2 or 3 past papers on the option, read your option carefully, and practice so that you can score well on the optional section of the paper. The first part of it is based on practical work. If you've been doing all of your practicals, doing stoichiometry, doing activities like the molar volume of a gas and acid-base titration, how to find water of crystallization, how to find the empirical formula of something like magnesium oxide, these procedures and activities are likely to be assessed in section A. It could also include some kind of data on global warming or climate change or ozone layer depletion, and you're then asked to apply some aspects of chemistry to analyzing graphs or data in tables. That is your paper 3. SL students, you will have 1 hour to cover 30 marks. HL students, you have 1 hour and 15 minutes, and your paper is worth 45 marks. Once these papers are completed on the 11th of May, on the next day, again in the afternoon, if you are in time zone A and C. If you're in time zone B, your exam will be in the morning, but if you are in time zone A or time zone C, your exam will be in the afternoon. Students in India and China, your exams will be in the afternoon of the 12th of May. SL students, you have 1 hour and 15 minutes to complete a 50-mark paper that goes from topic 1 to topic 11. HL students, you have 2 hours and 15 minutes to complete a 90-mark paper that goes from topic 1 to topic 21. So at this point, I want to go in and look at some specific topics that I want to highlight for SL students to study. And then, of course, HL students, you would be expected to study all of those SL topics, including the extra HL topics that I'm going to highlight. Then I'm going to share some links to some playlists with videos for multiple choice questions, structured questions, general explanations, and I'll place those as cards or as links below this video or down in the chat below this video.
Of study topics for SL First Up. Of course, the teaching and the questions to go along with this will be shared in some links below this video. VSEPR is always something that is guaranteed to be on the exams. SL students, you will be studying structures with 2, 3, and 4 domains, but that does not mean that you can't get things like CO3 2 minus or PO4 3 minus. Of course, hydrogen bonding is brought about when there is fluorine, oxygen, and nitrogen associated with the hydrogen. These are all asterisks here because they are possible calculations that you can get in the exam, including MC delta T up here. Remember always, at least in most questions, the mass that you have to work with is the mass of water. Pay attention to units, combustion analysis questions, which I'll share links to, empirical formula, which I'll share, MR based on isotopic composition, percentage yield, water of crystallization, evidence to support the structure of benzene. And then HL students, you'll have to know all of those, plus I've listed some more things here for you. Very important is that you know all of your calculations, HL students, because that's one of the things that sets HL apart from SL chemistry. It's the need for the applications of mathematics in topics like 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. And that brings us to all of these kinds of calculations in here. Your VSEPR structures will include 5 and 6 domains. You have to know things like the T-shape and the seesaw and the octahedral structures. Don't forget always to count those lone pairs in things like an OH, for example. The hybridization in an OH of an alcohol, the oxygen there would be sp3 hybridized. Very often students might see 2 bonds and say it's got 2 domains, forgetting that the 2 lone pairs are domains. And SN1 and SN2 reactions, very important topic, along with the nitration of benzene. Knowing where every arrow is and where every lone pair is very important. And of course, it's always a guarantee that you'll get something on chapter 21, spectroscopy. As I mentioned, I'm going to be sharing some links to videos to support your learning of all of these topics.
Good luck to everyone in this year's examinations.